Hari Om. Many great seers have trod this land of Bharat and drenched it with devotion and spirituality. If not for them, Bharat would not have been as it is, at least now we are seeing today. The roots of Bharat are Dharma, Nyaya, devotion and spirituality being the first of all. So everyone used to lead the life of spirituality. So the renunciation has come as a part of the spirituality only. And great seers who trod the length and breadth of Bharat, Akhanda Bharat, let us say, not Bharat, not what we are seeing today, but this Akhanda Bharat, which is the oldest mother to the entire world. So they really drenched this soil with such purity, with such sanctity. And Sadasiva Brahmendra is one among them. He is an Avaduta. He worshipped Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva as one and the same. He wrote a number of keerthanas. And during his life, the people who saw him experienced so many things which we feel very, that means we feel it so wonderful. And also sometimes we think that if there is any magic or gimmick in his life. So there are so many instances in his life. And one such instance, if I would like to quote, as he was walking in a forest, some bandits, they came from behind and they asked him to give him what he had. So in fact he did not have anything. So he said, I don't have anything. But then they didn't believe him. So what they did, they just cut his hands and legs. And then they went away, they ran away. But as they went just a few steps away from him, the hands and legs, they got again and they got attached to his body. And again he got up and he walked back into the forest. So such was the experience of the people who saw him. Then they prostrated at his feet and asked him to forgive them. So here there are so many keerthanas about the self, what he had written, and a very beautiful one. And Sadasiva Brahmendra, mostly he lived in the self, for the self, by the self only. Self here, not the eye sense, but the Atma. So here this one keerthana is a very beautiful one. So the keerthana goes like this. Khelati pindande Bhagavan, Khelati pindande, Khelati pindande Bhagavan, Khelati pindande, Khelati pindande Bhagavan, Khelati pindande. हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, सोहमिति, हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, हम सहसोहम, सोहमिति, खेलति पिंडांडे भगवान, खेलति पिंडांडे, परमात्माहं परिपूर्णोऽहं, ब्रह्मैवाहमहं ब्रह्मेति परमात्माहं परिपूर्णोऽहं ब्रह्मैवाहमहं ब्रह्मेति खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे त्वच्चक्षुः श्रुतिजिह्वाग्रेणि पञ्चविधप्राणोपस्थाने त्वच्चक्षुः श्रुतिजिह्वाग्राणे पञ्चविधप्राणोपस्थाने खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे शब्दस्पर्श रसादिकमात्रे सात्विक राजस तामस मिश्रे शब्दस्पर्श रसादिकमात्रे सात्विक राजस तामस मिश्रे खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे बुद्धिमनश्चित्ताहङ्कारे भूजलतेजो गगनसमीरे बुद्धिमनश्चित्ताहङ्कारे भूजल तेजो गगनसमीरे खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे परमहंस रूपेण विहर्ता ब्रह्म विष्णु रुद्रादिककर्ता परमहंस रूपेण विहर्ता ब्रह्म विष्णु रुद्रादिककर्ता खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे भगवान् खेलति पिण्डाण्डे. So a very beautiful one. So the meaning of this is, all the time he is saying that in the first two lines, Hamsa Soham. So he's asking himself, who am I, who am I? So who am I am that. Who am I am that. I am not different from him. So he and I are same. That's what he's saying. I am that means, so this we can again recall that first Upanishad Vakyam, Aham Brahmasmi. So I am that means I am that Brahmam only. I am not different from Brahmam. Second one again, what he's telling, second one, Paramatmaham Paripurna. So Paramatma means he himself is complete. He is not incomplete. He is a circle. So if we go on drawing around the circle, infinite circles we can go on drawing. So a line may have an end from this end to that end, but circle has no end. If you go on drawing, you can make it round and round and round and round. So around galaxies, there are millions of galaxies like that. So here what he is telling is, I am that the soul is the universal soul. So the Atma, what we have in us is complete, and it is the universal Brahman. So including the Brahman. So here the soul what we have in us is nothing but, we can't, that means we are identifying ourselves as separate entity from the soul, but in fact the soul is not separate. The soul is the complete from that absolute. Next one, again what he's telling, that the skin, the eyes, that means the five senses, what we hear. Through these five senses only we can know the soul, in fact. So these five senses, the soul feels through these five senses. So the touch, all these. In the same way, what they are saying, Jnanendriyas, they are called as Jnanendriyas. Next is the Karmendriyas again, the sense, all these. So from the Jnanendriyas, the soul gets the experience, and that means they get the soul is present, and by the karmas what they do, they that means from the sense organs, that is the nature, again what is describing as the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic natures. So it depends, if suppose how the people, one person differs from another person. So one person will be so pleasing, one person will be, so that means they'll be criticizing, one person will be shouting all the time. So it all depends upon the natures, the sattvic, rajasic and the tamasic natures. Next, again, what he's telling, the intellect, the mind, the brain, and the pride that I sense are nothing but a fraction of the earth, water, fire, wind, and ether. That means the five elements. So all these five elements, they are embedded in us. They are in us only. So we are made up of the five elements. Next, last one, in the last two lines, what he's telling is, so actually, the one who wanders, that means one who goes about, one who always, that means his mind fixed on the Lord. He goes on meditating. He goes on wandering. That means he doesn't stay at one place. So he is a Paramahamsa who goes on wanders in the form of Paramahamsa. That's what he's telling. So not a wanderer or a vagabond. So here again, there's a lot of difference. So a ruffian, he goes on wandering on the roads. So he is not a vagabond, but he is a Paramhamsa. That means he's not bothered about the that means external presence, consciousness. All the time his mind is fixed on the inner consciousness, which is the greatest of all. And the inner consciousness is the doer in the form of the Brahma, Vishnu and the Shiva. So the inner consciousness, what all we have, suppose we say that the inner consciousness is Atma consciousness, and this consciousness is nothing but the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. And again what he is telling, that there is no difference between the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So all are same. So here it's a very beautiful one, this Kitana is. And in fact, when over the centuries, when so many others have invaded our country, we lost all this rich culture, like the devotional culture, the spiritual culture and all that. And now we are again trying to find out, at least great personalities like Rabindranath Tagore or Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Time and again, they have Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Govindacharya, Vallabhacharya. There are so many gurus actually who try who have time to time, they again brought this up again for the people to understand that the real existence of the Atma and the relation between the Atma and the Paramatma. So this is what is told by Lord Sri Krishna also. The Atma and Paramatma is not different. So Atma and Paramatma both are same. Atma is the part of the Paramatma, which is the whole. So when Paramatma is whole, Atma also is whole only. So that's what he said. So if we see the picture of that means Radha Krishna image, then we can understand that Radha and Krishna, they are one and the same actually. So here the Sadasiv Brahmendra is also saying, I am not different from the Paramatma. I am the same Paramatma, and the Paramatma is existing in me in the form of Atma. Paramatma is whole. When the Paramatma is whole, I am also whole, because in me there is Atma. So that's what he said. It's a very beautiful one. Hari Om.